Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together.
Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast platform software review series. I am your host, Jalen Nelson. Today we have Praveen Sherman from Outplay, founder and head of partnerships at Outplay. And I'm just going to let you explain what Outplay is in your own words, because I'm sure you can do it better than me.
Sure. Thanks, Jalen. Thanks for having me today, and thanks for reviewing Outplay. Outplay today is a modern sales engagement platform, right? Very traditionally, sales reps were used to a CRM which stores data, but then there are not too many actionable items there. So with a sales engagement platform, you have an ability to build a strategic outbound function wherein you could say, I would like to reach out to my prospects in these several ways, either email them, call them, use the social platforms, and then engage with them as much as possible. So once there is also an option to know or the visibility of customer engagement, the chances that you get them to a meeting and get them to a closure and make them part of your customer base becomes higher. And which is what Outplay today is, right? Outplay is going to be helping sales reps. It empowers sales reps to perform various tasks, which was previously time-consuming and challenging.
So you're like an all-in-one solution. It sounds like you have like a lot of things on the platform. And so with that said, who would be an ideal customer for you?
Right. I mean, an ideal customer would be anybody who is in sales, but more specifically, an ideal customer would be any organization which is sales driven, right? Where sales activities and customer engagement are vital for business success. So this typically includes companies across various industries, such as B2B businesses, SaaS businesses, technology, or professional services, right? And typically, a sales engagement platform can hold good for any size of companies, irrespective of the sales team size. Outplay fits very well for small and mid-sized organizations, right? Now, startups that are looking to set up their outbound process, or small and mid-sized companies who are looking to scale their sales teams, right? Or they want to replicate their outreach success, are the ideal fit for Outplay. So typically, companies that have like 50 to 250 employees in size, say 5 to 30 odd sales reps, would get the best out of Outplay.
So Outplay would be ideal for something like, I don't know, sales agencies?
That definitely as well, right? Because sales agencies also help other B2B businesses set up their sales process. So, while there are individual companies who have sales leaders who would like to drive their sales teams, this could be useful. And yes, at the same time, sales agencies can also get the best out of Outplay, where they help other companies build an outbound process, right? So yes, it's going to be useful for sales agencies as well.
Oh, fantastic. So let's get a little bit more in detail about like Outplay, like where it's at right now as an organization. Like, how long have you guys been around? Where are you located? How many people you got?
Got it. So Outplay is US based, so we are kind of spread across multiple geographies, right? We started just before the COVID, so wherein people are spread across multiple countries today. And in 3 years we have grown leaps and bounds. We boast of about 700 plus customers today using Outplay as a sales platform for themselves, right? And as we speak today, we have consolidated the tech space, the tech stack for any sales function. We started off as a simple tool on sales engagement. Today, we boast of multiple products, all of it seamlessly working to make a sales rep's life a lot more easier.
Sounds great. So like, you're making a sales rep's life a lot easier, but
What are some things that Outplay are bringing to the table for sales reps that they didn't have previously?
Yeah, I mean, like I told you at the start, right? Traditionally, sales reps had to depend on a CRM, which is like a single point of truth. Now, while CRM is important, it's a repository of leads and prospects. It does not allow actionable items. So that's where an SEP comes into place as the engagement platform, right? Now, the first and foremost thing that it empowers sales reps to streamline their outreach process, right? So today, sales reps using Outplay can efficiently manage their outreach activities, correct? So you could create a sequence or a cadence, which is a defined strategy to reach out a prospect. And that could include automated emails, it could schedule follow-up tasks, it could track engagement metrics. So it's going to save a lot of time and it's going to ensure consistency, right? So you're going to follow a set defined process for multiple prospects. So point number one, it's going to streamline outreach. The second most important advantage of having a sales engagement platform is multi-channel communication. Again, today Outplay allows sales reps to connect with prospects through various channels: email, phone, social media like LinkedIn, Twitter, and text messages or SMS messages. So this omni-channel approach enables reps to engage with prospects on their preferred platforms, right? So it helps maximizing the chances of reaching and connecting with prospects effectively, right? And third important thing is the ability to track and analyze interactions, right? Sales reps can analyze their interactions with prospects in Outplay. In the process, they gain insights. Like, so for example, if a prospect has opened an email or they have clicked on a link in the email, or let's say if somebody has called the prospect, how long was the call and what was the call about, right? So it kind of helps in prioritizing these as well. Now, these are to make a life of a sales rep easy. How does it make life of a sales manager easy or an agency easier? Is collaboration, right? So today there are features in Outplay that helps in collaboration. Thereby, you could work seamlessly with multiple reps, share templates, share their best practices and insights. So collectively, as a team, you share knowledge and improve overall sales effectiveness.
Cool. Multi-channel or omni-channel outreach is actually a big thing that people talk about, just given how the industry or how sales is changing for a lot of people, because you're not making sales just from calling people or emailing them one time anymore, right? Like they've got to see you on LinkedIn, they've got to see you on Twitter. They want to know you before they just decide to work with you. And so you're saying that Outplay is a good platform for that?
Absolutely, right? Because like you said, today, everybody want to know whom are they interacting with. Definitely, as Outplay is a good platform for that. Yes.
So how would you measure the success of Outplay?
Right. I mean, look at it. So today, any tool is going to make your life much better, and it should show consistent improvement, right? So to start with, are my reps better off today in terms of their activity metrics? So do they improve their activity metrics? So for example, do they make more number of calls, or do they send out more emails, or do they have more social interactions? So overall engagement levels, are they better than before? So increased activity levels is KPI number one, which everybody wants, right? I mean, the salesperson, a sales manager would say, right, hey, you know what? This email is working for you. So can you do 10 times more? Correct. So you get to track. That's the first one, right? It gets to track rep level activity. Number two is your conversion rate across various stages. As a rep, am I improving on conversion from lead to an opportunity, or an opportunity to a closed deal, and so on, right? So the second KPI should be conversion rates. Now, Outplay also helps in A/B testing. So which means when some content of an email or some call metric is not working, you could do A/B testing. So you could finally realize what's best working and then double down on those. So ultimately, that will help you better your conversion rates as well, right? Now, the third KPI, I would say as a sales manager, what anybody would want is pipeline velocity. Measure the speed at which opportunities progress through the sales pipeline, right? Whether Outplay has improved efficiency resulting in shorter sales cycles, right? Faster deal closures, right? Now, again, this could vary from business to business, but definitely Outplay can help in this as well. And of course, the revenue numbers, right? Revenue impact. Analyze overall impact of Outplay on revenue generation before and after using the tool, right? So I would say the KPIs for success would be these four. And again, depending on product, depending on sales strategy, sales leaders may opt for a few more.
Would you mind sharing just like one story or, a case study of like success that, a user of Outplay has had?
I mean,
You don't have to name any names or anything like that, but just like, give some numbers, make it spicy.
Right. I mean, undoubtedly. I mean, there are quite a few. For example, like I said, there have been companies, right? For example, who have been able to increase success rate by 30%, right? Now, why the 30% increase in success rate? I mean, what I mean by 30% increases, first and foremost thing, they were able to 3x their prospecting. So which means, let's say a rep was reaching out to say 100 prospects in a month. Because of a defined strategy, they were able to do 3 times more. So instead of reaching out to 100 prospects in a month, they were able to reach out to 300 prospects in a month, right? Now, this led to about, say, 20-25 better conversion rates. Now, why better conversion rates? Like I said earlier, because of the ability to, have A/B testing options, or because of the ability to track what's working and what's not working. Now, Outplay has a very interesting feature wherein it can tell you in a particular region, what are the best times to call prospects? When do you get the most number of connects? Now, imagine this as a sales rep. Now, in my day from, say, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., if I know there is a particular time of the day wherein I get the maximum connects, what would any intelligent sales rep do? They were just going to use that time for only calling, right? So this customer that I'm talking about did that, right? Once they were able to 3x their prospect count, they used that metric and ensured all reps call during that particular time block, and they were able to get 3x more connects. That automatically ensured about a 1.5x conversion ratio to their pipeline. So if they were generating, say, 100,000 as pipeline, they started generating 150,000 as pipeline, correct? So it's a very cyclic effect, right? One metric improves the other, and at every stage there were insights, and every stage there were ability to find out what's working and what's not.
Well, I mean, you got me excited. You got the audience excited. You mind like showing us the Outplay platform?
Absolutely. Let me do that. Let me pull up the screen right away. Okay, so you get to see my screen. Now, this is the Outplay dashboard, right? Now, like I said, today, Outplay started off as a sales engagement platform, but today we are an all-in-one suite. We have the lead sourcing tool, wherein businesses who want to reach out to other businesses could have in their filters. They could say, hey, I'm looking for a company in this particular industry. I'm looking for a company in this particular geography. What kind of companies am I looking at, and so on. So once you filter out, you get a list of companies, accounts, and prospects. Now, what do you do to them? Once you have those,
quick question.
Sure.
Quick question. So all of these contacts are in the Outplay like database?
Absolutely, right. So today we connect with multiple databases. We just don't have one database. We have multiple databases wherein we connect to those databases and pull up this data.
Nice. Okay.
Now, data is available in a lot of places, right? But what's important is to define a strategy. Now, every salesperson is going to start the day with this particular dashboard, right? The engagement dashboard. Now, why is it interesting? Now, traditionally in the CRM, I'm going to stare at a set of leads and opportunities, not sure what am I going to do next. Now, with this dashboard, as you see here, it clearly tells me I have about 10 tasks due for today. So I straight away start off with those tasks. So how are those tasks created? Now, all of those start with creating a sequence or a cadence. Like I said, a sequence is a series of steps which is going to be your outbound strategy, your outreach strategy. So, for example, let me create a sequence and say, hey, I'm going to build a sequence with, say, about 10 steps. Now, what are those 10 steps going to be? So my first step, say, for example, is going to be an automated email, or it's going to be a manual email wherein I'll say, hey, it's going to be on the first day, and this is going to be my content. Now, the advantage here is that, correct, every sales rep could actually replicate the same. So you create a sequence with the team, all of them have the ability to use the same messaging. That way, the chances that all of them succeed together is going to be high. Okay. Now, today, as we are in the chat GPT kind of a time, we also have an AI email writer. So if you could just key in a few words, Outplay is also going to be able to generate the email for you.
That's great. You guys are really keeping up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Right. And then, yeah, so you build a sequence, right? So like I said, you continue adding more steps. So you could say, so like I said, we are truly multi-channel. So you could have emails, you could have phone, you could call, right? So we also have a power dialer wherein you could call multiple numbers in a jiffy. We have the ability to, right? So we have the ability to, connect with people on LinkedIn, send them messages. We have Twitter, text messaging, like I said, right? And you could create dynamic tasks as well, right? So all of these, you can create a strategy using all of these, right? So if I were to quickly show you probably...
When you say dynamic tasks, like what do you mean there?
Lovely. That's a good question, right? So I could either create a task, a static task, and say, hey, reach out to this person on so-and-so time. That Outplay has got one step further. So what do we do is this, right? Let's say you've sent an email, somebody has opened your email a few times, let's say, and opened an email, say, 4 times. You could define a workflow, right? And then say, hey, you know what? Somebody has actually opened your email 4 times, so it means they are showing some interest in your message. So why don't you call them, or why don't you connect with them, right? So this is what dynamic tasks are, right? So we have dynamic sequencing, as we call it. So you could create workflows depending on your business process, your sales strategy, wherein the way in which your prospects are engaging with you, you could define your entire process. So for example, here, I have this particular trigger, this particular workflow, which says, hey, if somebody opens an email 4 times, create a task against that particular prospect.
So you can move them up higher on the priority list to reach out to.
Absolutely, right? So again, Outplay has gone one step further and say, hey, you have so many tasks, but then why do you want to reach out to them one after the other in the same order, but instead look at the engagement activity. So you could sort this based on engagement and say, hey, you know what? I have this particular manual task because this person has opened my email 5 times. They have not responded to me, but opened my email 5 times. So which means I know this particular prospect is showing some interest. So let me probably call them, or let me find some other strategy wherein I can reach out to them. So I will start my day on reaching out to this prospect to whom I'm highly engaged, instead of this prospect who has neither opened nor clicked or sent an email, replied to my email.
Nice.
Nice. So I don't miss out on those low-hanging fruits.
Yeah. Cool. Outplay seems like a fantastic platform. I have one question, just given how much is put into the platform, and, in our current environment, people often use like multiple tools to do what Outplay can do. So like, who are you replacing? Because I'm sure you had to think about it.
Right. So, you got it right, So today, a sales rep doesn't even need to go to a CRM, because we have integrations with the top CRM. So which means that while data can reside there for sales leaders or for purpose of storage, a sales rep can be on Outplay because it's like a 2-way sync. So any information that's available on the CRM comes into Outplay and vice versa. And today we integrate with the top CRMs like Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, Zoho CRM, Microsoft, and so on, right? So we are not replacing a CRM, but we kind of make the CRM data better for a sales rep.
Hmm. What's the integration process for, I mean, you don't have to walk through it, but is it difficult? Like, is it a click of a button? Like, how does that work?
Right. I mean, these are native integrations, right? So it's typically a click of a button. For example, I'm connected with Salesforce, just click on this, and then, that's going to walk you through as to how you do the integration, how do you do the mapping, and so on. Right now, again, where Outplay differs, or, how do we, stand, separately from the rest is our customer success, customer support is top notch, right? Any help, anytime. We have a brilliant team who are available 24/5. So any help setting up the account or helping with workflows, we are available. So sometimes while Outplay is very, very easy to use, and that's why customers today choose Outplay, any help, our team is always available.
Cool. What's that? I'm seeing the tab up there for intelligence. What is that?
Right. So we recently also launched conversation intelligence, right? A conversation intelligence is a way to not just record calls, right? But it's also going to help in analyzing these calls, right? So for example, I've connected my calendar. So by default, whenever I'm on either a cold call or on a video call, it's going to automatically add the conversation intelligence to my particular call, be it a Google Meet or a Zoom call. Right now, it's going to analyze the calls, right? So for example, if I were to go into one of these calls, let's say I pick this particular call, right? So it's not only going to give me the transcript of the call, right? But it's also going to help me understand and analyze and give me some insight. So for example, as you see here, 54 questions were asked. If I just click on this, I know that these are all the questions and how were they answered. So these give insights. It's going to help in a multiple ways. It helps in enablement. It helps in understanding how does your rep perform and so on. Now, we also went one step further and then built what we call as battle cards. Say, for example, I'm a sales rep, and then one of my customers says, hey, how are you better than Salesloft, for example? Okay. So the moment the word Salesloft pops up, what's going to happen is a battle card will open up, which is going to assist the sales rep, saying, hey, this is how you perform against that particular competition, right? So it makes the job of a sales rep a little more easier. That's why the intelligence part, where it analyzes the call on the go and then comes up with battle cards, it provides a lot of other insights that you may want that will be useful for future use. Like, so for example, you could see what are your highlights, right? What are your next steps, and so on.
Nice. This seems like, a sales rep's best friend. But with that said, we're about to wrap up. One more question just for the audience. What's the pricing?
Right. Outplay has, I know, like any other tool, we have, multiple, pricing plans, right? All you need to do is visit outplayhq.com/pricing. You get to choose, one of those plans, growth being the popular one and enterprise, right? So it completely depends on what, features that you would want and so on, right? So, and they could also sign up for a free trial, have a first-hand experience of how Outplay is going to help them, right? And then decide which of those plans is going to, best suit for them.
Fantastic. Okay, so audience that are watching this, sales agency leaders, SDRs, BDRs, marketers, if you're watching this, Outplay, and you think Outplay is the platform for you, you can find them in the CloudTask marketplace. I would like to thank Praveen Sherman for coming on today and showing us what Outplay has to offer.
Thanks, Jalen. Thanks so much for having me today, and lovely interacting with you.
It's great talking to you.
Cheers.
See you.
Bye-bye.